completely unacceptable. What did you make of the response tonight?
Yeah, I thought the players, they were really strong. They were great. I enjoyed watching. Even some of the goals we gave up were the right type. We genuinely tried to put the opposition under pressure, and I thought the players, to a man, held up their end of the bargain in that area, and their response was fantastic.
The asset was clearly on that midfield group based on last week's effort, and then we see Connor Nash and John Newcombe both get over 30 this week. You win with contested possession, you also win the clearances as well. Were you happy with the bounce back from the midfield group?
Oh, not just the midfield. I think collectively, I don't think any line had their hand up last week for not lowering their colours, and I think today that collectively the performance was of such a higher standard. They're a very young side as well, like we are. So we knew that you're going to be playing against players who are of a similar age profile to what we had, and we did that last week, but we couldn't compete with them. And so this week, when we play against another side that we think age-wise we should be able to compete with, I thought the players had a real desperation about them, and that's what the best teams have week in and week out. And we produced it today, and the challenge for us is, can we produce it every week?
You brought back Gunston and Harry Morrison, who obviously added experience both to the forward line and also to the middle as well. What did you make of their games?
Yeah, I thought Harry Morrison was really good on his wing, and I think the thing with Harry is he's really consistent in his efforts and his communication, and he sets everyone else up around him. So I was pleased he was able to make the most of his chance and get his opportunity. And I think with Jack, even though he hasn't been playing, I've loved what he's been doing. It's exactly what we got him to the club for. He's been a fantastic leader around the group. He brings people along and shows them things, and he's coaching. And we felt like he would do a better job of that on the field this week, which he did. And he had some good moments himself, but he also was able to set people up. And when for those who came to the game live, they would have seen that he's having a coach out there. And when you have players who are driving a standard the way that he did, it does make the players around him stand up a little bit taller.
How carefully did you weigh up publicly making your feelings clear last week, and what impact do you think it can have on the group?
Press conferences straight after a game are difficult things to do, regardless of the game. I think who you think you're talking to is really important. And to me, we've got 80,000 members, and they continue to turn up to games. They come to Marvel on a Sunday afternoon and support us. They come to Tassie. They go to Queensland. They go to the MCG, and our fans have turned up every time. Never have we been really disappointed in a crowd. So to me, first and foremost, I'm talking to the 80,000 Hawks members, and they deserve to see the pain that we're in when we perform the way we did last week. But by the same token, they deserve to see the joy that we have out of a game like today. And I thought they should have been really proud of the players today. I think that they just left it all out there. There was so much ice and sore spots, and had a really difficult week on the track, and the players drove that. Dylan Moore's comments last week, James Sicily's comments. I think when you've got your leaders of your playing group who are not accepting of poor performance the way we had, and they drive it themselves, then you get a response like that. And I just thought that they made the 80,000 proud. So that's who we're talking to when we pull on that jumper.
Jai Sarong comes into the team this week, Sam. While he didn't dominate the stat sheet, he seemed to allow that backline to work a bit more freely in terms of allowing Sam Frost and also Jack Scrimshaw to be able to come in and intercept. What did you make of the backline group as a group as well?
Yeah, we made a bit of a change. Obviously, went a bit smaller in the front half, and unfortunately, we couldn't fit Max Ramsden in. And really, he didn't do a lot wrong. He actually competed quite well in his two games. But we thought Jai Sarong had been really consistent at VFL level. He'd performed at a good level consistently for a long period of time, and it earned his spot. And I think the backline just was a little bit more defensively minded today, and it pushed Carl up the ground. And I think Frosty for all his I think you guys love getting into him in general, but I think when you watched him play today, you can see someone who it means a lot to him, and he played with the desperation. There was a contest right in front of the coach's box, with a minute to go, where he was desperate for physical contact. And when you have players who want the contact and who want the pressure and who want the game played in a manner to be proud of, then that leads the way for the back half. And I think all of our defenders performed pretty well today.
What are you making of the development of your midfield more generally? Sam, obviously, Ward went back to the VFL. Mackenzie's only 20 games in. What's your assessment of how it's tracking?
Oh, I think the midfield is a really good work in progress. We really struggled a couple of years ago. Last year, as a collective, took big gains forward, but individually, not every player was playing well every week. Warps really carried us on his own for the first few rounds of this year, and now in the last couple, he's been a little bit quieter, but the other guys have been able to step up a little bit more. And I thought Wardy was fantastic at the VFL yesterday. He had some challenges in front of him, and he's an enormously disciplined young fella who's going to bounce back really quickly. It doesn't, and I've said this to him, it doesn't dent anything about the future that he's going to have at this club. He's going to be a great player for us, and I think that was Wardy. And then you got Cam Mackenzie, who's still finding his feet, as well as Henry Huswaite, who's been the sub for probably a few games in a row now, but continues to show something when he gets his opportunity. How we bond and gel that group together is continues to be a work in progress. Obviously, much better today, and the change of ruckman a couple of weeks ago has led to some more consistent results as well. So Meekie's been able to hold up his end of the bargain. So when I look at our midfield, I'm pleased with the progression and the learning, but it's far from a finished product.
Lloyd Meek chipping in for a couple of goals too.
That last one was quite nice. I think David Hale was pretty quick to point out that was his second. So no, pleased for Meekie. He actually had pulled up pretty sore from last week and wasn't able to do everything this week on the track. So I was really pleased that he was able to perform well.
You had a spread of 10 goal kickers for the game. Are you happy with the way that obviously everyone's contributing to being able to get the 6 points?
Yeah, I mean, I must admit I don't really look at that too often. I think we did try to share the ball going forward. We were a little bit smarter with our ball use in the front half this week, and a bit better. The conditions, obviously last week with the slippery conditions, we didn't handle well, and here, under a roof. I think we're back here in a couple of weeks as well, so you can predict the conditions and you can set your game style a little bit better. So, I thought our front half of the ground in general worked much more functionally today.
All right, thanks, mate.